Hello, my friends, and welcome to MSP Unplugged. This is our special Pitchit series with Connectwise. My name is Rick Smith, and I will be your host. The Pitchit series is a special program sponsored by Connectwise, which gives small emerging companies a chance to take part in a 16-week program where they learn various things through business assessment, gain coaching and with coaching and industry experts, earn placement on the Connectwise marketplace, engage in co-marketing, and more. To explain it better, I'd like to bring on my co-host for the series, gentlemen you all should know well, Mr. Sean Lardo of Connectwise. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic, Rick. You know what? You did very good at that. How are you today?
Oh, thank you.
How's your day? How's your day, man?
It's going, my friend. It's going.
It's all it can be. At our age, that's all we can say is it's going.
Right?
Remember when you were younger?
Making it through.
Everything was possible when you're younger. Then you're like, it's going, getting there.
Mm-hmm. I'm making it. And that's
I
all
got
I
out
can
of
do.
bed today. My knees didn't hurt as bad. I'm ready to go.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Sean. And this is our second go around with the Pitchit series here. We did one earlier, but Sean, tell us a little bit about Pitchit and what this is all about and why it's important.
No, so okay, I'll make it very easy. First off, a few years ago, Jason McGee, our CEO, went on stage and said, "Look, we're putting out 3 promises, and the promises are very simple: easier to do business with, even more invested in partner growth, and more innovations faster." Right. So now the Pitchit program has been around for 5 years now, so this isn't new to the space. However, this has now become something that's taken on the entire 3 promises and taken it to heart. What we're doing is we're looking for all these, as we know, MSPs are always looking for stack alignment, right? They're trying to find new vendors, especially as we evolve. When digitalization occurred and everybody migrated, we know that we saw a huge push, right? So now it's become even more important. But they're always looking for qualified vendors. You're an MSP. You know what you do. You look at the companies out there. You figure out, hey, I need these things. What vendors are the ones that are suitable for this? And so what Connectwise wants to do is give the ability to find the best vendors, the best innovators, and bring them into a competition of a Shark Tank concept. All these companies are all providing value for partners, whether it's a product or a service or whatnot, whether it's cybersecurity, QBRs, or communications, it doesn't matter. It is something that makes up all parts of things you do to run your business. And at the end, again, as I mentioned, this is a Shark Tank competition, right? So yes, we're looking for them. We want them to be part of our ecosystem, but we also want to give them the chance to win some money too. What this turns into when the Shark Tank piece actually happens, they will be competing for, first off, to become one of the 3 finalists to get to Connect and to actually pitch on stage live in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people, but also then to get the rights to win. First place gets 70 grand, second place gets 30 grand. Third place, well, they get a set of steak knives. But ultimately though, again, it fills the void of everything. We're looking for vendors that can be innovative. We want them to be able to work with the partners easy. We want to be able to hopefully put everybody into one ecosystem. So that way, whenever you as an MSP are looking to shop, you're able to look at what's a vetted vendor from us. Since Connectwise is a trusted name, it's been around for a long time, not going away. Let us do the legwork and find the right vendors and put them there and say what they do. And then you guys decide ultimately if you want them. But the goal is for these guys now to go through the next 16 weeks, which is going to be brutal because they go through a workshop every single week. They do recordings with you, live streams with other people. Like literally, they've allocated probably 5 to 6, maybe even 7 hours a week to working with us for the next 16 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Now, I know the program's rigorous, but it's no walk in the park just to get there, right? It's like, there's a process just to be involved.
Yeah, you have to. So again, because of we take it very serious. They had to fill out a form, of course. They had to fill out 2 forms, a short form saying, hey, we're interested, a long form to say exactly what they do. But it doesn't end there though. Like the hard work, actually, they should have already done. We evaluate based off of what they submit on the application, of course, but then we dive into their presence in the market, their website, make sure they're legitimate. Let's look at some testimonials. We look for Google reviews. We do all those things. So really that process is something that if you ran and every MSP out there should understand this, you guys all run businesses also. How do you find clients? You have to establish credibility. How do you establish credibility? By providing quality service and people talking about it and acknowledging it and showing everybody, right? Same rules apply here. If not, and chances are, if you apply to Pitchit, I know your friends. So I'm going to probably talk to them too. I mean, this is a small world. Ultimately, we know mostly everybody. So all I got to do is make 1 or 2 phone calls and they'll be like, no, that guy, I don't think that's a good one, or they're a great one. So it's the program. We're excited. This year kicked off. The season just kicked off this past week. We have over 27 vendors in this year. Last year we had 18.
Wow.
So a few years back we had 5. So what's that tell you?
There's growth.
Huge growth. It's only going to get bigger. So we're super excited. I mean, we did the release we did the press release last week, and it crushed the amount of traction we had from everybody paying attention to it, and it's everybody paying attention. It's other vendors. I mean, let's be honest. There's vendors like us looking to acquire companies like these, right? So they're paying attention. There's the MSPs like you guys looking to purchase from companies like these. And then there's people that are just haters watching and saying, I wish I would have joined, or this is exciting. Again, but we're literally spanning the entire demographic of the business.
Cool. So I think it's time for us to meet our first contestant, our first Pitchit. I don't know if I want to call him a contestant, but
it's contestant. They're all contestants right now. That's what they are.
The person coming on now, though, he's no stranger to the show, and we know him well. So I may not even have to introduce him. I'll just show his face, and we'll see if everybody knows who we're talking about there. Hey, it's Mr. Matthew Koenig. He is from Nodeware, the VP of Channel Sales there. How are you, Matthew?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good. Welcome again. But glad to see you.
I don't think I've ever seen this, screen before.
Yeah, this is our new Pitchit screen.
Yes, and it's by design that I brought on the follically challenged guy for the first episode. I wanted to be comfortable. I had to get all comfortable for myself,
Yeah, but I can't. This is all I can get now.
Well, you know what? But I wouldn't look right without a beard. Like you look fine without that. Like you're good. Like without a beard for me, I look like a freaking turtle. So, just saying. All right, so Rick, it's your show, man.
Matt, again, welcome. So to kick off the Pitchit series, won't you tell us a little about you? We know you, but tell us about you and what you do at Nodeware.
Sure. So I've been around the channel freaking forever. I'd like to say that I know everybody, or everybody knows me. It depends on how you look at that. Famous or infamous. But I'm the VP of Channel Sales at Nodeware. And, Nodeware is a 5-year-old startup. And what I've been tasked with doing is saying, come in, help us rebrand and bring us to the channel, right? Help us grow, help us spread our wings and really grow and bring value to the channel. So that's what I've been doing.
Nice. How did you end up? You have been around forever. I know that. And most of us have watched your progression, especially over the last couple of years. You and I talked about your turbulent piece, and you're making, which I don't know if I even call it turbulence. I call them growing pains, right? You have to pick the right fit, and I guess that's actually perfect for even this whole conversation is finding the right match between vendor, partner, and winning pitch too. Yep. So, I mean, what is a driving force for you to push? Because what we do is not easy.
No, it isn't. But you know what? My thing at the end of the day, and I know I've said this to Rick before, and I say it in all my talks and everything. I got into the vendor channel, or the channel in general, from being out in the world of being in sales, right? I worked for the SHIs of the world, the Pomeroys of the world, et cetera, et cetera. And that was fun. But the first time I got to go to my first channel event, it was just electric. I mean, everybody talked to everybody. Everybody was excited. It was like this amazing business carnival is what I like to call it. It really was. And so as time has grown on, I love taking MSP owners and helping them learn things that they didn't know. It could have nothing to do with the product, sales, marketing, operational stuff. Basically, anything that I've learned that an MSP wants to understand, I'll sit there, as you know, and talk to them for 6 hours about it.
Yep,
but
that's true.
What drives me is helping. I mean, it really does. A lot of people say that and it's overdone. And no, it really does. When I get up in the morning, I want to know I helped someone and made a difference in their business.
I totally appreciate that. Now, one last question about this then. We talked about matchmaking and being a good fit. What made you decide to go to Nodeware?
It's funny you say that. After my growing pains recently, I was real careful about what I looked for in a company. And I've said this, I mean, I'm older. I've been doing this a long time. And I don't have to take a job for just taking a job. And I don't mean that in an egotistical sense. I mean that I can be careful about what I get involved in. So my criteria was it had to be a product that I don't have to sell. And what I mean by that is you're always selling. But to me, having to sell a product is literally having to have that conversation about, do you know this? Do you know that? Let me explain this. No, I wanted something where I could be excited about it. I could talk to people about it and they got excited about it. There was no selling involved. And what Nodeware does with the continuous vulnerability scanning, it was just so cool. And it's the next step that's out there when it comes to vulnerability scanning and security and taking care of your customers and everything. So I was like, okay, I can dig into this and believe this every single day. Because again, when I talk to somebody, especially an MSP owner, I want to know I'm doing them a favor and not a disservice. So if I know I can be excited about it, then rock on.
Absolutely. All right, Rick, I'll shut up now. Sorry.
No. It's cool. It's cool because the next question we were going to talk about was about Nodeware and what you guys do. I know you just gave us a brief overview, but tell us what you guys do and what problem you guys solve.
Sure. So really what we do is we provide software that does continuous vulnerability scanning. And what that means in English is we've developed a product that can run 7x24 in the background with no network degradation whatsoever. It's platform agnostic. It gives the ability for MSPs, instead of working from a huge freaking report, like a lot of the competition out there, but to work from a multi-tenant dashboard and be able to see what's going on with each of their clients. It also gives them details, remediation guidance, all this kind of stuff. But more importantly, the problem we solve is that a lot of MSPs we're finding don't even have vulnerability scanning in their stack, let alone continuous. So what's really cool is the first step is educating them on why vulnerability scanning. Because what I get all the time is, well, I have EDR, or I have seen SOC, or I have timeout. That's the holy crap, something hit the fan. We're the, hey, let's not get to that point. So in teaching vulnerability scanning and where it fits into the stack, then we can take them to the next step, which says on average, one, you've got to set up a quarterly scan or a monthly scan. One, you're going to miss people. Like me, I'm always on the road. You're never scanning me as long as you live. I'm the person you want to scan. I'm in hotels and on planes. I mean, I'm the perfect example of someone you want to scan. and the next thing is now also your data is 90 days old. Well, on average, what they're showing nowadays is if I can come in using a vulnerability, I can go undetected for over 254 days and just hang out in your network and do anything I want. So by providing continuous vulnerability scanning, literally almost any size network, your data is never more than 24 hours old. On a smaller network, it could be less than 12 hours or less than 6 hours old. So as you see things that are critical pop up, you can address them immediately, knowing that it's not old and you have the chance to protect your customer quickly and effectively before your EDR has to kick in and go, whoop, whoop, whoop.
So you're proactive.
We are definitely proactive as opposed to reactive. And our job at the end of the day is to help MSPs and guide them what to fix, what's important, what needs to be addressed now, what can be addressed later, so they don't end up in a fire drill having to deal with stuff that ended up happening.
Absolutely. So how many partners today are using? Do you know?
We've got about 210.
Oh, nice. Okay. Are they so? And it sounds like you're a sell to and a sell through.
Not as much. We are a sell to, or that's the way we like to describe ourselves. Because the way I always like to explain to people that want our product is, look, we are an addition to your security stack. Vulnerability scanning should be part of any security stack, period.
Sure.
Small, medium, large, I don't care. And what we give you the ability to do is go out and when you talk about your security stack and the value you bring, you can talk about continuous vulnerability scanning. If anybody that's ever tried to sell this kind of stuff, I'll go back to my rapid fire tools days. That's a blast from the past. We had a product, which I won't name because I don't want to give them any promotional credit or whatever. But long story short, this was a product that they just came out with, and I'll call it the poor man's seam tool. Well, it looks for anomalies, changes, and threats. Every MSP at first that I talked to said, okay, I'm not ready to buy. I'm going to go sell this. And I just kind of giggled to myself. And I tell you what I'm going to do. See the board behind me? Because my whiteboard is right there. I'll put a green check right there. If you sell one of these, actually sell it, I'll erase the check and put your name next to it. Never, ever, ever did I have to erase a check mark. Now, MSPs have a hard enough time selling stuff in general, let alone going in and saying, hi, I've got Nodeware. It's amazing. No, you've got continuous vulnerability scanning, which adds value in the following ways. That's it. It's simple. It's straightforward. That's the value add.
Absolutely. That makes sense. So with what you just said, are you helping to explain in layman's terms to MSPs how to explain to their clients in layman's terms?
Absolutely. I work with tons of MSPs, that say they want to buy it and say, okay, what's the talk track look like around my security stack? So I'll even go deeper on how do you talk about your security stack to differentiate yourself? And then what do you say about, what Nodeware brings to the table? Because as you know, it starts with, can you even talk about security without looking, and one of the talks I give throughout the country is how to sell cybersecurity services. And one of the things I talk about is own it, be confident. You know more than they do. Don't go in and go, well, I've got cybersecurity, and if you want to buy it, you can. No, they need it. Figure out a way to position your cybersecurity stack as covering all the things they need. And then I will help you figure out how to position Nodeware as a huge differentiator in your stack.
Sure. If you even need to.
Right.
Because if they build value and it doesn't matter what they're using, they've sold them as a service, period. It has nothing to do with.
Exactly. Well, I've always said, back in the day, I used to sell software, like this content management software, when it wasn't cool to do so. It was about a $5 million package. And I watched one of my sales reps go in one day, and long story short, they gave the demo and everything. Customer loved it. Customer said, what does it run on? And I know I'm aging all of us. It was an AS400. Yeah, exactly.
Never heard of it. Never. That was before my time.
What's that?
Yeah,
that was before my time.
Yeah, that's that box with the LaserJet 4 you have in the closet that'll survive a nuclear holocaust.
Yes.
But anyway, they pushed back and said, I'm sorry, we don't like that. And I jumped in, and my response was, wait. Here are the 10 things you said it wanted to do. Did we check those off? Yeah. Then why the hell do you care whether it runs on a Volvo in the parking lot if we're taking care of it?
Correct.
Same concept. There is no customer in the world that should care what software you're running in your security stack or what brands, as long as you're showing you can take care of them.
Yeah, it's been my experience as an MSP that 9 times out of 10, the customer will ask you that question as a filler, right? Because they have no idea who Nodeware is.
It's going to be smart.
They know Microsoft. They know, that's it.
It's being smart. It's being relative to the conversation. It's like when you don't know sports, you say, and you want to have and everybody's sitting around having a beer talking sports. You're like, so let's talk about stats. Or in Rick's case, how about them Cowboys? So again, as soon as you say these things, you immediately become part of the brotherhood of this conversation, and that's the only reason why. It's just to feel like you belong, and that's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many MSPs I have to tell this to. Like, stop trying to sell your stuff. Stop line-iting them out stuff and letting them go, oh, I don't need this. How do you know you don't need this? Well, because it's $80 a person.
It's just how enough on that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I digress.
Let's talk a little bit about the Pitchit program itself. And how did you guys come to find it?
Actually, it was Sean that helped me find it. Sean said, hey, I know that you guys are like a 5-year-old startup. And the reason I keep using that is the software's been around. It's not a beta platform. It's not an alpha platform. I mean, it is solid and it's been running for a long time, upgrades, etc. However, as a channel company, we might as well be a complete startup from scratch. So when I was talking to Sean saying, look, I'm trying to bring them to market, give me some ideas. He suggested, you know what? You guys probably fit the Pitchit program. Why don't you submit an application and see what happens? So knowing what I knew about the Pitchit program and hearing from other vendors, how cool it was, how much success they had, how much exposure, I was like, okay, twist my arm. And I signed up and, we were lucky enough and honored, honestly, to be chosen because the Pitchit program, as Sean said, I mean, all it's done is help vendors grow and learn and become better at what they do. And you get to work alongside, a stalwart in the channel who's been there, done that, is successful, has great products. And they're basically showing you how to be them. How much better could you get it?
Right. You know what? That's better. Maybe you should start opening the Pitchit about.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe I should take some notes on that.
I'm just gonna, you know what? Moving forward, every episode, Rick, you're gonna say, "Bring on Matthew. Tell us about Pitchit."
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, literally, I did. I laugh when the dogs run around, because I call them zoomies. Well, I did human zoomies the day we were accepted. I was so excited. I mean, it's a big deal. We're already getting phone calls. Congratulations. Blah, blah, blah. Tell me more. I mean, what? It's been a week.
Yeah. You know what? But you all have done a good job. Like last year's class really helped to set a standard, right? And now this year's class is start out the gate strong. Let's see if everybody maintains. They have to maintain, and you should want to maintain though, because everything we're doing is pushing you to the level you're trying to get to anyway. We're kind of kickstarting you and fast tracking you in some ways, of course. And you're also able to, you're co-branding and co-marketing with other people. So why would you not, right? And when we made the press release, and I'm going to brag now about this, the press release, it was the #1 post from Connectwise in the last year and a half.
Nice.
Wow. So from Connectwise, not from Sean, but from Connectwise, that has 70,000 LinkedIn followers, I think, or something like it, 65,000 LinkedIn followers, whatever. So you tell me the power of that, and that's a testament to all of you guys too, though. And people are waiting. They want to see what's going to happen. And we turned away a lot of people from the competition this year. There was no shortage of applications. I'm telling you right now. And then I know that we've done a great job because we even have grant writers submitting up that have nothing to do with our space. I'm getting those applications too. Like, we're going to start an eco-friendly farm of. I kept reading. So I was like, wait, where's the technology part come in? There's like, no, literally farms. I was waiting for like some sort of tech piece to help farms or something, and maybe automate and for MSPs. And I was like, do they work with farms? They work with farms. And I'm like, looking like
have technology now.
And I'm like, yeah, but I'm looking for like somewhere it says for MSPs that focus on the rural industry or something. Like, I was waiting for that to happen, right? And I kept reading, like, shit, it's only talking about agriculture. I don't even know how we're even involved, but that just means that people are finding us in different avenues, which is where I want them. That means that we've gotten big, we've gotten far bigger and overextended past just one space, and the reality is that's fine, because you guys, all of us collectively, the MSPs especially, are selling to all different industries, all different walks of life. So you kind of want to be there anyway. There's no telling who needs services. Yeah. All right, I'll shut up again, Rick.
No, you're good. You're good. Matthew, I wanted to just, follow up. I know you guys, you sounded really excited about being in the program. Can you tell us, do you think there's something special you've learned so far, or something that, has helped you guys so far?
Well, I mean, look, just the exposure itself has helped so far. Learning what to post, who to tag, all that stuff. But, the first session was really about vision, strategy, et cetera, et cetera. And it was neat because I had my CEO on. And I'm not saying it's the first time he's heard this stuff, but I think it's one of the first times that it really hit home that, oh, wow, other people that have been successful, that run larger companies, that, et cetera, like a Jameson West, are saying, look, you have to have a vision. You have to have a set out and spelled out strategy. Your employees need to know what they're supposed to do to help get to that point. And I loved it because I could watch him and the little light bulbs going off like, oh, yeah, I started on this, but I should probably come back to it. Because one of the things that ASCII has this, panel called Quiet Quitting.
Mm-hmm.
And, I get to sit on it whenever I go to the ASCIIs this year. But one of the things that was mentioned in there also goes to quiet quitting, which is, do you know your role? And do you know where you add value to the company? Everywhere from a SDR to the senior vice president of sales or finance or whatever. Do you know in the scheme of things where you add value, how you contribute to this goal or this trip? And I loved it. I loved it because it reiterated a lot of stuff I think people inherently know, but they need more detail. They need more backing. They need that push to go, oh, okay, it's a lot more important than I thought it was, even if I'm a smaller company.
But I would agree. But I think that goes on both sides though. Like for your role, you take on an ownership responsibility regardless, right? So yeah, your CEO will have a strategy and talk about it. It's an expectation. It's expectation setting, right? But
Yep.
you have as a leader / owner, accountable person, you have to also set yours.
Okay.
And that's for your subordinates. And like I always learned to manage up, down, and side to side, right?
Yep.
So I have to manage my peers' expectations. I have to manage my leadership expectations and my subordinate expectations, right? I have to do all the above. So I think like that, if we all own our own business, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
Once you stop being just a garbage man, not to talk bad about garbage men, but they literally know their job every day. It's a route. They know what they're going to do. It's like Laverne and Shirley. I use all the time putting caps on bottles, right? That was their job, right? Yeah, exactly. Back to dating myself, right?
Did they have an AS400?
They probably did. But the fact is, all they do is screw caps on bottles, right? That was their job all day, every day. If you ever want to be at a different level, you have to be accountable and grow, right? So the same roles apply. You have to be your own. Yeah, shut up, Rick. I shouldn't even, I have to change that story. I can't be talking about Laverne and Shirley anymore. It's gonna be something more current. I'll figure it out. But you have to be accountable for yourself and you grow your own business. So I think that first session even was good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You make a great point because if my team doesn't understand why we need to get to the number we need to get to and how they fit into the whole scheme of things, right? They're not bought in and they're not excited about doing it. So no, I agree. There has to be a vision of the vision and a strategy of the overall a sub-strategy, if you will, for each department. No, that's great advice.
Totally. All right. See you again, Rick. I'll shut up.
No, you're good, Sean. You're good. Don't worry. You're the co-host, man. You can talk just as much as
I know, but I'm trying not to talk too much. I'm trying to keep myself from it. I get all excited.
Well, we're coming up. We're coming up on our time here. I want to ask you, Matthew. It sounds like you guys are heavily engulfed in Pitchit now. You're learning some things. You're excited about it, which is good. So what's next? Where do we see you guys? What are you doing? Are you on the road? Shows? Where do we find you?
I'm doing a bunch of different podcasts and stuff like that for different things outside of Pitchit, involved in some webinars, but we're going to all the major shows this year. We're really trying to get out and meet people and be in front of them and talk to them. Because again, just the fact that I know them, that's not enough. We need to see them. We need to show them what we've got. We need to build those relationships like always, because, as I've always said to people, just because I know someone, that means they might come up and say hi. That doesn't mean they're going to buy what we're doing. Right. So we need to do that. So yeah, we're going to be at ASCII next week. We're going to be at IT Nation Secure. We're then going to be at PAX 8. After that, I think we're at Exchange. So we're going to be out there on the road and continuing to get in front of as many people as possible. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If there's an MSP owner out there and they just want to shoot the shit on sales or how to do something, I'm here. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's not all about you buying our stuff. It's about us giving back and creating real partnerships, not just, hey, buy stuff from me.
Absolutely.
Cool. Now, let me ask this: if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about Nodeware, how do they do that?
So they can email me at Matthew with 2 T's .Koenig, Koenig at igicyberlabs.com. That's the parent company. And I know I'm probably crazy for doing this, but I'm going to give out my cell phone number.
Wow.
678-896-3234. Yes, I did it.
Look at Sean.
Did it. I'm not.
Look at Sean. Like, are you out of your mind?
Welcome to Crazy Eddie.
I know, right? We're slashing prices. Oh my Lord. How about just say you can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook? Here's my
Exactly.
Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook too.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I mean, you can DM me on them too. It's crazy. Oh my Lord.
We'll edit out the We'll edit out the phone number.
I want us to grow, and I want people to be able to contact us and work with us and ask questions. I'm dealing with Australia right now. I mean, so I'm doing meetings at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it is what it is, in order to grow and get where we want to go.
True. Agreed.
Now, how do we learn more about Nodeware?
So you can go to nodeware.com and find out more. Also, we've got information on the channel programs website. We've got something with Joe Panone and his group.
No, let's just push everybody to Connectwise. We have a marketplace. You'll be on that.
Oh, you do? Okay, never mind. Tell them where to go.
Yes, you'll be.
I was going next, Sean.
We'll provide.
I don't know this stuff yet.
Whose dogs are getting crazy? Matt's dogs are getting crazy? Whose dog? Who has dogs?
Is that you?
That's the mute button.
The mute button. It's Matt. See? If you scroll over your screen, you can hit mute. There you go. All right. So you have to edit that part out, obviously.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that.
So, okay. So they'll have the ability. We'll put a link for the show notes for you, Rick. We'll get it for you for the Connectwise marketplace, which has a Pitchit tab on there for all the Pitchit contestants. So you can literally find them right there.
Okay, cool.
And we're excited to be there.
Yeah,
you're excited to be there. I've been trying forever.
And Matt's cell phone number is right next to it.
That's classic. That is classic. So before we round out here, Sean, any final words?
You know what? Here's my final words. If you're a vendor, pay attention to what's going on here. You're trying to figure your way out, because these companies with Matthew and everybody else, they're going through it. They've gone through it before, right? But there's just maybe a different flavor of it. And we are doing bare bones stuff that they should understand, getting back to fundamentals, right? And pushing them to another level too. They're like I said, they're all spending 5 to 6 hours a week with us. So there is development happening. There is constant. They are going to be scrutinized. I mean, we are anyways vendors, but now you're on a bigger stage because you're under the Connectwise stage. So you're going to be scrutinized just like Connectwise is. Welcome to Connectwise world. But so pay attention to that. For MSPs, I ask that they do follow these guys, all of them, and give us your feedback on things you guys want to see. It's important for us to know how to grow this business or to grow the program, and also for these guys that are the vendors, give them feedback. The worst thing that we ever go through is not knowing where we missed the real problem you had, and not knowing what you really want to hear from us. Okay, not BS stuff, but like, hey, I love what you guys did, except for this, whatever this is. I want to know, because I want to make sure it's something that we do, and I can say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't address it," or we're never going to do that," or "Holy hell, we should be doing that." Yep. Whatever. But that's the fact of the matter is, we want to know those things. They want to know those things. So follow them and support the program. The more we get done, the more traction we get. The more that the more vendors get involved, the more that we invest. Yep. That's all.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for your time today. I think this was a great intro to Pitchit. We will be releasing episodes of Pitchit twice a week. So those will most likely be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, along with our other shows. But we want to thank you for joining us. We invite you to tune in every Tuesday and Thursday to catch us. You can watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged, on facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. These will also be available on our podcatcher apps. So you can catch those at one of your favorite podcatcher apps, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the rest. So for Matthew, Sean, and I, and Pitchit, we want to thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged.
Deuces.